this morning. It's already so cold. Took the dogs out so that way they were okay for the entire day, all by themselves. And then I spent 15 minutes de-icing my car because here in upstate New York, we got almost a foot, maybe a little bit more of snow in like 24 hours. It was crazy. Lots of snow, but at least it's pretty. It's very pretty. But today I'm going to bring you guys along just an average cold winter Saturday. I have some lessons to teach, and then I'm going to be working with Beckham later today. So yeah. Now that we've got kind of our house morning chores done, now I'm gonna go get some Starbucks before I make my way out to the barn. So yeah, it was so cold this morning walking the dogs. I really should have grabbed my gloves, but I decided not to. I don't know why I did that, but I just decided not to grab my gloves, and slowly but surely all my fingers were numb, and it took me a lot longer to feed them and unclip them and all that jazz. But yeah, hopefully getting this coffee will help fix that problem. Probably won't though, because I will be getting an iced coffee. I don't care how cold it is. I will probably never get a hot coffee unless it's like the only thing left. I'm just waiting in the Starbucks line, but I've recently been trying to make TikTok videos, and first of all, oh my god, is it terrifying. Not terrifying, terrifyingly difficult to edit and make videos on TikTok. Like, am I like getting old or something? Because the user experience on the TikTok app to try to edit videos, both pre-production and like post-production, is very difficult. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm so used to just filming everything and then just like editing the clips like after that, and then TikTok is very much like you have to edit this clip, you have to make it perfect, and if it's not perfect you have to redo it, and then but like not really. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's so, and there's so many different buttons and there's so many different like filters and green screens and all this stuff, and I want to create so much on TikTok because I think it's so cool. Like, some of the stuff that some of these people make are chef's kiss. Like, it is so cool, but I just cannot for the life of me figure it out. Like, I feel a little left out here, and I've been watching videos and YouTube videos, and a lot of them are like outdated. So I guess I'm just like a little late on the bandwagon to be editing on TikTok. But anyway, since this is a video about horses and my life with horses, not about TikTok and YouTube and what I watch on YouTube, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update on Beckham. So he, like a lot of thoroughbreds, he has a very sensitive stomach as I've come to know him a little bit more. But I do think that this is because in the wintertime, they don't have as much of a free choice, like access to hay and grass. Like, they still get in his pasture when he's turned out every day with the weather permitting, like if it's not a goddamn snowstorm out there, he gets a big round bale of hay that he can share with his other pasture mates, which is great because he gets to feed as much as he wants to when he wants to. However, he's a little bit lower on the totem pole when it comes to like who's the alpha, who's the second alpha, and who's at the very bottom. He is a little bit of a chicken. Because of this, he hasn't been able to eat as much, and when horses don't eat as much throughout the day, that can cause a lot of stress on their gastric system. And because of that, to finish this kind of update, I guess, is he has been just a little bit more sensitive. I realized I want to say like a month and a half ago, I was riding him and he did great walk trot, had a walking break, and then went to go pick up again the walk trot to hopefully warm up in the canter. And as soon as I put my leg on, he pinned his ears, and I was like, interesting. Maybe he's just feeling like lazy, or maybe he just thinks he's done. You know, some young horses have this mentality sometimes of like, oh, but I don't want to go back to school. So I was like, oh, didn't think much of it. So I just squeezed him again. And he again pinned his ears, and he nipped at my boot on his side. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I've never had a horse do that. Like, so after that, I just stopped riding him that day and gave him, I think, like 2.5 weeks off. And I immediately started him on U-Guard, which is kind of like an ulcer, not helper, but preventer, I guess you could say. And it helps keep the acid in their stomach down, so that way their gut system doesn't like overwork itself because there's nothing in it at the time. So with that being said, now a month and a half has gone since he's been kind of like tummy achy or whatever, and he's been doing a lot better. Honestly, I couldn't say enough good things about the U-Guard supplement. I don't know why I didn't even just start him on that when I got him, but again, I guess it's good to get to know your horse and see what they in fact do need supplement and mineral wise, instead of just chucking supplements at them or chucking money at them when they don't really need it. Because again, in the summer and fall time, he was perfectly happy boy. He ate so much food. He had access to a huge, I want to say 2-acre pasture with loads of grass and loads of hay. So happy that problem is now being fixed, is all I'm going to say on that. Okay, ordered my coffee, so good. Now we're just waiting in line to pick it up. So anyway, back to the update on Beckham. As for the year of 2022, he will be turning 4 in March. And I really haven't done like that much over fences work with him, because there are so many people in the industry that overwork and overjump horses at such a young age. Like, to me, in America with the USEF and USHJA association, there's so many young horse jumper classes where they're having these 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds jump. I think it's like 1.20 meters. And that's a lot. Like, that's like making an 8-year-old run track and field and jump those crazy ass hurdles. Like, that's like, you're bound to get an injured horse, an overworked horse, an overtired horse. It just doesn't make sense to me, especially when there's so much science about the fact that their skeletal system alone, not just their muscular system, their skeletal system does not stop growing until they're 6, 7, maybe 8 years old. Blows my mind. So anyway, I've been just taking it really slow with Beckham's flat work and groundwork, so that way when we do progress to tiny jumps, because again, he's only turning 4, cavalettis and such, it's more just for improving his core and his top line, not just to go run around in competition. So with that being said, I really only have been working him once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, and a lot of that is just, again, groundwork, flat work. Sometimes he gets thrown on the Pessoa. I'm a little sad that it's winter, because I really miss doing hill work with him. He enjoyed that a lot. He loved taking his little summer afternoon strolls on the hills, and now that it's winter and gross and cold and we literally have 3 feet of snow on the ground right now, I just don't feel quite as safe taking him up those hills. Thank God for indoor arenas. So yeah, that's kind of the overall update on Beckham. Hope. What are you doing? Jesus. So I decided to turn him out because this turnout was open and the snow isn't too bad. And I felt bad for him because he's been in his little stall for 2 days now. Being good boy. Oh, oh, my goodness gracious. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. All excited. Beckham! Beckham! Go play! Oh, what are you doing, buddy? Oh my goodness. Go play! Go play! Do not back up and kick me, you little shit. Turn your butt. Thank you. Where are your manners? Huh? Well, go on then. Go play. I'm just gonna throw him some hay real quick so that way he's not just in there alone. But
6 hours later.
Alright, so here I am just getting on him for his ride today. Decided not to lunge him just because he got all of his shenanigans out in his little turnout time earlier that day. So we normally start off by a nice walking warm-up. Here I am just trying to get his butt to move just a little bit so that way I have nice control of it throughout his ride. And here he is just saying, ouch mom, it's kind of cold to move my butt right now, but that's okay. Then we move on to the trot, and what I like to do is sort of just let him pick whichever rhythm he wants to work off of for the first 10-15 minutes. So if it's super duper fast, okay, I'll just work with the energy, and if it's super duper slow, as long as he just continues to trot, I'm not mad about it. He's allowed to kind of pick what rhythm we work off of for the first part of our warm-up. Then here we are just getting our butt in gear just a little bit, and I'm starting to ask him to move off my leg just a little bit more so that way we can start incorporating a little bit more of bending and just reaching over his neck and his back. Once he felt warmed up and relaxed in the trot, I decided to give him a nice walk break. And then we moved into the canter. Now, today I tried something that I've never tried on him before, and that is the use of draw reins. Normally I don't like and really don't encourage the use of draw reins just because a lot of people use it in a poor way, and they use it to skip through training. However, today I kept the draw reins super loose, and he would only feel that pressure when his head lifted just too high. In the 8 months that I've had him, he loves moving into the bridle and through his back in the walk and trot, but not really at the canter. It's like he just doesn't know what to do. I've come to the conclusion that it was just confusion as to where his body needed to be in the canter. Once he dropped in the bridle at the canter, it was like a light bulb went off, and he continued cantering around beautifully. Now, if you look at the door that we're about to canter right past, this is where the horse gets loose and comes right through the arena and right up Beckham's butt.
Beckham was a really good sport, and he only really just jumped to the side and then stopped and watched the whole thing unravel. I immediately dismounted and brought him into the middle so that way the horse could hopefully run back out the door, and he did. And that was our opportunity to quickly go close that door. It's kind of like a not our problem, not today sort of situation. Then I decided to get back on him, even if it was just for a walk and trot around. I couldn't let the session end on that note. And he did end up going around quite beautifully considering how chaotic the past 5-10 minutes were. I was very proud of him for just going right back to work, right back into a focused mindset. And he even ended up being very soft and supple. I was honestly expecting him to be just a little cautious, anxious, or just tense. And he just went right back to work like a complete gentleman, like nothing ever happened. I was very, very pleased with him.
He's such a good boy.
He's a very good boy for our flat work, which was good. We decided to try some draw reins. Normally I'm really against draw reins just because I think a lot of people just use them wrong. But over the past couple of weeks, if not months, I've been realizing that in the canter, he just has a hard time understanding where to put his head. His body feels great, he knows where to put his feet. Sometimes he can get a little bit on the forehand, but again, I just think that sometimes he gets just a little bit confused. And those draw reins just allowed him to understand where his head needed to be. And every time he kind of lifted up his head in frustration, he'd just get kind of tugged. He's just fighting with himself, basically. And then his head just brought back down. And as soon as he realized that his head was comfortable in that position and he was allowed to go forward, he was so happy. He was such a good boy. Yes, you were. And then, out of the blue, I don't know if it was caught on video, but a horse quite literally got loose and ran through the arena right as we were passing the door. So, that's kind of rude. And he was a saint. All he did was just spook. He didn't spook and buck and bronk. He just kind of tucked his butt and scooted. And the horse ran around and he just stood there looking at him. He didn't freak out. He didn't try to run around with him. And that's pretty good for a little giggly 3-year-old. Oh my goodness. Are you ready to go to bed? Yes. You ready to go to bed? Yes. Okay. He wants to go to bed. I gotta put more tack away. I gotta clean my saddle so badly, but yeah. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment about your day. Thank you again for watching. Bye!